On August 28, 2023, 19-year-old Shibli Sadiq Hridoy called his mother, Nahid Akhtar. His voice was very scared. He told his mother that some people have kidnapped him, and they are torturing him a lot. Before Nahid could have understood or asked her son something, the call was disconnected. After a while, Nahid got a call from Shibli's number again, but this time it was not her son on call but a stranger. The stranger who was going to bring chaos to Nahid Akhtar's life. You must have heard that good people always face bad things. This case does provide that thing. So what happened to Shibli Sadiq Hridoy? After knowing the whole story, you will be traumatized. Shibli called his mother. His voice was very scared, and he said something to his mother in a shivering voice. The boy told his mother that some people kidnapped him and took him to an unknown place, and he was being beaten very badly after being kidnapped. Before his mother could understand anything, the call was disconnected. A few minutes later, his mother got a call from the same phone number, but this time she heard an anonymous voice. The voice that she heard from the other side changed her and her family's lives completely. So let's learn a little more about today's case revolving around Shibli Sadiq Hridoy, the boy whose murderer ate his flesh after killing him. Shibli Sadiq Hridoy was 18 years old, and he was born in Chittagong, Bangladesh. Shibli belonged to a very poor family. His father, M.D. Shafiq, was a truck driver, and his mother, Nahida Akhtar, was a housewife. He had been very fond of reading since childhood, and he had big dreams about his life. And to fulfill his dreams, he started working at a very young age. In different newspapers, his age is said to be 16 to 20, so we have kept the average age of 16 to 20 as 18. As mentioned before, he was from a very poor background. His financial condition was very bad. So along with his studies, he used to work to pay his college fees, and he started a job on a poultry farm, which was a little far from his house. Even though he started this job at a very young age, he was still good at his work. And let us tell you one more thing, Shibli was doing such a good job there that the owner of the poultry farm promoted him as manager. So after getting this position, Shibli was doing this job properly, responsibly, and along with that, he was saving money for his studies. He was earning such a good amount of money that he was able to pay the college fee easily. And with the remaining money, he used it to support his family. He was not saving anything for himself. He was not saving any money for his personal desires. Shibli, according to his family, his friends, and his neighbors, was a very nice and sincere boy. While working on the poultry farm, a lot of workers became his friends. But all the workers who became his friends while working on a poultry farm were 5 to 6 years older than him. But still, those people used to work under Shibli. They used to work in a junior post. Shibli was an educated boy. Shibli was very serious about his work, and he always made sure that, while working, other people also worked with honesty like him. Because of Shibli's sincerity, sometimes he used to fight with his own friends on the farm. But these were not big fights. All these fights used to be resolved on the farm. He used to forget all these conflicts as soon as he entered the house. Shibli's job and his studies were going well, so he used to go to work every morning. He used to come back in the evening. He used to work all day. He used to manage everything. So on the morning of August 28, 2023, like every morning, living his daily routine, he went to work in the morning. He did his duty there, and like every day, he should have come back home that night. But Shibli did not return home that night. His family was waiting for him. Because it had happened many times before, sometimes he had to work late at night, or sometimes, as happens on the poultry farms, the rats came in the evening. So he had to stay there for the protection of the hens on the farm. So his family thought that he was late today too. Something must have happened at night. Some shipment must have arrived, that's why our son is late. But along with the passing of time, his family's tension was also increasing. And after it was too late at night, around 11 to 12 p.m., he did not come back home. So his family contacted him. But he was not attending the call or answering his phone. Still, they were patient, but the night passed, and the next morning came. Shibli still did not return home. So his family became worried. They were asking their neighbors, "Have you seen our son?" They were also trying to contact the farm owner to inquire about their son, but his phone was not reachable. So now, because everything was happening negatively, they were tensing up, and they were about to leave the house to go to their son's farm. His mom got a call. This call was made by Shibli, but he was very scared. He told his mom, "Some people have kidnapped me, and I was in a car for the last 12 hours. These people are beating me a lot. and now I am in an unknown place.
একটা খবর দিতে হয়, সারাদিন করতে হয়, ওটাও করতে দেয় না। এরকম করে আমার ছেলেকে ওরা খুন করেছে। আমি সরকারের কাছে, বিপদের কাছে আমি ওদের বিশেষ।
Before Shibli said anything else to his mom, the call got disconnected suddenly. Just to add one more thing, he was the only child, so you can understand why his parents had been in a lot of worry. His mom panicked and started contacting back to her son, but no one answered the call. So she knew that something was up, and she stopped calling. She was getting ready to leave the house, but then she got another call from the same number. And this time the voice was completely different from Shibli's voice. Whoever was on the other side of the call said, "Your son Shibli is in our custody right now. We have kidnapped him. And if you want his safety, then don't call again. And don't even try to tell the police." After that, the kidnapper said, "If you want Shibli alive, then arrange for 1.5 million taka. And then I will give you a location to hand over the money." And after saying so, this call was cut off straight away before his mother could say anything. The taka is the currency of Bangladesh. As mentioned in the beginning, Shibli's family was very poor, so they didn't even have 0.1 million taka. It was impossible for them to arrange 1.5 million, but it was about their son's life. So they started collecting money. For 3 days, they tried everything. They asked their neighbors for money. They asked their relatives for money. They felt embarrassed because they were honored people, but it was for their son. But still, after 3 days of literally begging, they were not able to gather so much money. They were not able to gather 1.5 million taka. So on August 31st, 2023, again, the kidnappers called his mom and dad, and they told them straight away that we couldn't gather 1.5 million taka. And for some reason, the kidnappers also knew that they wouldn't be able to gather so much money. The kidnappers knew about their financial condition. Then they made a compromise. Normally, kidnappers don't do this, but still, they made a compromise. And the kidnappers said, "If not 1.5 million taka, then you give us 0.2 million taka." His family said we wouldn't be able to gather 0.2 million taka. This is a clear tactic used by a lot of kidnappers, because the kidnappers know that the people in these circumstances love their family and kids a lot and can do anything for them. So Shibli's parents said to the kidnappers, "Okay, don't get angry. We will do it. Don't do anything wrong to our son." And they humbly requested the kidnappers for 4 more days so that they could arrange the required amount. For Shibli's family, 0.2 million taka was a big amount, but they had no time to think about the money they had collected. They were literally begging. They were begging for money. They were begging for their son's life. After too much struggle, they finally managed to collect 0.2 million Bangladeshi taka, and after that, they were just waiting for the kidnappers' call. On the afternoon of September 4th, the kidnappers contacted Shibli's parents, told them a place, and said to reach there along with the demanded money. Again, they made the same threat: "If you try to inform the police, we will kill your son."
আমার ছেলে আমাকে সালাম দিছে, আমি বলতেছি যে কে, বলতেছে যে আমি হৃদয়। আমি তখন চিৎকার করে কান্না করছিলাম, বলতে তুমি কোথায়, কি হয়েছে তোমার? বলতেছে যে আমাকে ফার্ম থেকে 12টা বাজে নিয়ে গেছে।
So Shibli's family didn't want to take any risk. So after the call, they immediately took the money and reached that place. They waited there for a while, and then 2 people came there. They were wearing masks on their faces. And both of them took the money. And before leaving, they said, "Your son, you will get him at home." Only Shibli's father went to hand over the money to the kidnappers. So he was happy that finally, "My son is safe now and will come back home soon." He went back home quickly, and he saw that his son was still not at home. So he asked his wife, Nahida, "Where is our son?" Nahida got scared. She was already crying. So she asked, "You went to get him. Why didn't you bring him back?" He explained everything to his wife, and after that they waited for their son at the door till evening. They kept encouraging each other. "We have given the money. We have done everything. Now our son will come back. We just need to wait. Their demand has been fulfilled. Maybe he got stuck in some traffic." They had started making all these assumptions. Now it was night, but there was no sign of Shibli. But the shocking thing was that while waiting, not only night but 3 more days had passed. and the date was September 7th. It had been 3 days since they had given the money. And even though the kidnappers had already warned his parents not to make a call on Shibley's phone, Shibley's parents were still trying to make contact on Shibley's phone. They were just calling their son's phone. That's all they had to do. Just imagine this: Shibley was kidnapped on August 28th. And now it was September 7th, almost 10 days since he was kidnapped. Now things were getting more difficult. On September 7th, when Shibley was still not home, his parents gave up and decided to go to the local police station. After going there, whatever happened with them in the last 10 days, they explained the whole story to the police. After hearing the whole incident, the police were obviously angry that, why didn't they tell them about this incident before? But then they understood the situation of Shibley's parents. After that, the police collected all the details about the incident in one place. And after that, by registering an FIR, an investigation was started into Shibley's case. Now, what exactly happened that day? The police backtracked on the whole incident. They started to know everything about Shibley.
আমাকে প্রশাসনে বলতেছে, ভাই যাস না, ওদিকে যাইও না, আপনার মানে আপনার শরীরের কোনো মায়া দেয় না। আমি বলতেছি আমার শরীরে কোনো মায়া দেয় নাই, আমার ছেলে না থাকলে আমি কি করব? আমি ওখানে পাহাড়ে অনেক পাহাড়ে করছি, অনেক ভয়ঙ্কর জায়গা থেকে।
What was his life in college? What was his behavior toward his friends? How did he get along with his family? From the investigation, it was found that Shibley was an innocent boy.
মানে কি জামিলা হয়েছে তো অনেক আগে, মানে নেশা করতো, মানে কি গাঁজা খাইতো, তারপর মদ খাইতো। ওরা মানে কি দেরি করে উঠতো সকালে, তারপর হৃদয় মানে কি।
He never used to fight with anyone. He never used to abuse anyone. He never used to do anything that could hurt anyone. But in the middle of the investigation, Shibley's mother, Nahida, remembered an incident that occurred about 2 months ago while working at the poultry farm. 6 workers were working there, and Shibley had a fight with them. But this dispute was later resolved. So Shibley didn't pay much attention to this incident. As soon as the police learned about this incident, they started following the clue. And without wasting any time, they went straight to the poultry farm. As soon as they reached the farm, they caught 6 workers with whom Shibley had a fight. And they started investigating them. At the time of the initial investigation, they kept proving themselves innocent. But at the end, when the police investigated them strictly, 4 out of 6 were accused. They came in front, and their names were among Ching Marma, Sui Ching Jiam Marma, Angthumung Marma, and Yukiathami Marma. After which, the police arrested them on charges of kidnapping. And still, 2 names were unknown. After the arrest, the police asked them about Shibley's location. But they were not saying a single word. And then, after spending a lot of time in jail and after a lot of torture, one of them finally opened his mouth. On September 11th, he told the police everything, including what exactly happened on the night of August 28th. Shibley was on the way to his home. And in the meantime, those workers decided to take revenge. They kidnapped Shibley first. Basically, their plan was to torture him, and after that, with some money from his family, they would leave him. Everything was going according to plan. These people were also going to get money. But unfortunately, Shibley saw the faces of 2 kidnappers. And now they thought, he knows everything. He knows that we have kidnapped him. Even if we let him go, he will tell everything to the police, and we will get arrested. So to save themselves, they stabbed Shibley with a knife a lot of times. As a result, he experienced significant blood loss, and he died instantly. Till now, the police and the family thought that this case was about kidnapping. But now it has been confirmed that this was not a kidnapping. And the further investigation will freak all of you out of your minds. When the police asked those kidnappers about Shibley's body, they said that after killing Shibley, they cut off his body, and on Roseanne Hill they threw it away. The police went with these murderers to that hill.
উপজাতি ওই 5 বন্ধুর নির্মম কর্মকাণ্ডের ফল ভোগ করতে হচ্ছে সবাইকেই।
And after getting down a little, they found the body parts there. But the worst thing was that, a little below those body parts, they found a proper body. Its face was completely destroyed. The face was so completely destroyed that the police couldn't identify it directly as Shibley or someone else. But then, looking at the clothes and the things lying around, Shibley's family confirmed that this was their son's body. Police arrested everyone on murder charges. But after the arrest, another shocking thing came to light. 26-year-old Yumoyan Chang Marma said that Shibley was his best friend. But 2 months ago, there was a fight between them regarding some issues, after which Yumoyan Chang decided that he would take revenge. In his statement, he said that after killing Shibli, he himself chopped Shibli's body parts, and after that he grabbed his flesh, and he ate it too. Then he threw the rest of his body down the hill. It was such a horrific and shameful act. And as soon as this information came into the media, protests started all over the country. People couldn't stand the anger. People were asking for justice. On the evening of September 11th, when Umoyin Chung Marma and the rest of the accused were being taken by the police. In the meantime, the public took Umoyin Chung Marma out of police custody. And they started beating him. And before the court could give him any punishment, the crowd beat him so much that he died on the spot.
অবরুদ্ধ জনতাকে যদি আমরা ফায়ার করি, কারণ ওখানে তো নিরীহ লোক আসছে সব, আপনি তো বোঝেন, মহিলারা আসছে, বয়স্ক লোকজন আসছে, সবাই এখানে তার আসামিটাকে কিনে নিয়ে যায় তারা। তখন পুলিশ চলে যখন আসে তখন ওই যে লোকজনের হাতে তাকে এই যে ক্ষোভ এবং রাগ থেকে তাকে গণধোলাই দেয়। তো পুলিশ হাঁটাতে ট্রাই করছে, তা ভিডিও ফুটেজ।
কলেজ ছাত্র শিবলি সাদিক হৃদয়ের খণ্ড বিখণ্ড মরদেহ উদ্ধার করে নিয়ে আসার পথে এভাবেই রাউজান থানা পুলিশের গাড়ি আটকে বিক্ষোভ ও ভাঙচুর করে শত শত ক্ষুব্ধ জনতা। এতে 5 পুলিশ সদস্য আহত হন। এক পর্যায়ে উমং চিং মারমা নামে এক আসামিকে পুলিশের কাছ থেকে ছিনিয়ে নিয়ে গণপিটুনি দিলে ঘটনাস্থলেই মৃত্যু হয় তার।
The police apprehended the remaining 5 accused using tear gas, and they are now in custody awaiting trial proceedings. Shibli, described as a good and sincere young man, had parents who were already facing hardships in life. Losing their beloved son, who had a promising future ahead of him, dealt them a devastating blow. The injustice inflicted upon Shibli's parents by those responsible for his demise cannot be remedied by anything in the world. With the conclusion of Shibli's case, we urge you to prioritize the well-being of yourself and your loved ones. Stay tuned for our next true crime documentary, coming soon. Take care.